Hello, everyone. Welcome to the meditation session. We will start in 2 minutes. So for now, you can say hi to the cat who's come to join us. And then just making yourself comfortable, getting ready, finding a space that suits you, that is quiet enough, where you will not be disturbed during the time of the session. And then starting to relax and to clear your mind. We will start at 2 o'clock, so in 1 minute. Hi, Ajay. How are you? Glad to see you've made it. I'll make sure you have some water at your side as well if you need to. Okay, it's 2 o'clock, so we're going to start now. Last week was a session. Hi, Magali. Last week was a session on back to basics, doing all sorts of different meditation activities, foundation activities. This week is about trees. We're going to connect with the tree energy. I explained before in other sessions how things may have vibration, and this is what healing is all about. It's about vibration. And today, like we did with the butterfly in another session, today we're going to connect with the vibration of trees. They're going to help us today to ground ourselves. Grounding, I will explain about it a bit later. And we're going to use the trees to bring us abundance. And we're going to use trees to relax us as well. We are also going to use them to expand our breathing exercise that we start with. So, just a reminder, this session is for your comfort and your well-being. If at any time you feel uncomfortable or you feel that there is anything that doesn't feel right, then you need to stop the activity, to take a break, to either go back to the breathing exercise that we are going to start with, or to just spend your time relaxing until the activity is finished. Sometimes some activities may feel stressful to you because they remind you of a past experience or because they don't feel right in any way. Just sit it out. It's completely fine. If you're finding that, if you feel that any activity you may not understand properly or you may have doubts as to whether you're doing it right, don't worry. Just do whatever you feel is right. It will always bring you benefits. It's all about meditation. It is all about relaxing. It's all about focusing inwards, focusing on simple elements, simplifying your thinking process, and therefore relaxing your whole system. So, as long as you are following this kind of intent and these kind of guidelines, then you're going to be fine. Okay? So, we're going to start as usual with a gratitude and an intent for the healing. And so, in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to take a couple of minutes to, first of all, think about something that happened in your week since the last session that brought you happiness or joy, that made you smile, or that made your heart feel warm and fuzzy. It can be anything, and it can be small or it can be big, and it can be as many things as you want. There's no limit, no restriction. Um, then an intent for the healing. So this session is infused with Reiki. So that means that as we're doing the session, I am sending Reiki to everyone who's actually following this video now and when you go back to it. So you can put an intent out there for the healing. It can be about any aspect of your life and your being. So it can be about your health, your physical health, your mental health. It can be about developing spiritually any aspect of your life. It can be about putting positivity into your household, a project, a career, a relationship, any aspect of your life You can bring positivity too with Reiki. Reiki is a positive healing energy. So, I'm going to ask you in a minute to just focus on these things if you wish to. If you don't want to, you really don't have to. And nothing should create you stress in a session. So, if it creates stress, then you can leave it, sit it out, and then do the next thing. Also, for your own comfort, at any time during the session, you can get up, have a walk about if your body is hurting. You can listen to this meditation while you are walking. Just please make sure you don't close your eyes at the same time. Uh, and basically, this session is yours to do with whatever it is that you want. You can go back to it anytime because it will be saved on YouTube also. Now, before we do the grounding activity, I will explain what grounding is for those of you who are not too sure. If I forget, please remind me on one of the messages on the live chats so that I can explain at the end of the session. But in the meantime, I'm going to invite you now to take a deep breath in and out and to close your eyes. To let all my talking settle. And now, to take a couple of minutes to focus on a gratitude and an intent for the healing. Okay. We're now going to move on to a breathing exercise. AJ, I noted your gratitude and your intent. Thank you. So you can keep your eyes shut or shut them again if they are open now. And now we are going to focus on our breath for the next 15 minutes. Sorry, I had to check. And so for now, you can let go of every thought. Absolutely everything that is in your mind right now is not relevant right now, apart from thoughts about your breath. And you can therefore just switch them off. You can imagine that you are flicking a switch and switching the thoughts off, and they switch off like lights. Or you can also see your thoughts attached to a balloon and a balloon flying off with the thoughts. You can put your thoughts in a car and watch it drive off, or attach your thought on a cloud and watch it just drift off in the sky. Whatever it is that works for you. Or you can just decide that you are not going to think that thought anymore. Whatever is relevant to you. And during the whole duration of this exercise, there is no need to change your breath in any way. It is just a matter of letting it be the way it is, letting the air flow the way it does, and paying your whole attention to it so that you no longer think of anything else. And remember that perfection is not required here. You can only do the best that you can do, and every second that you spend only focusing on your breath and nothing else is a world of benefits that you are bringing to your whole system. And so little by little, as you are having less and less thoughts in your mind, you're starting already to feel more and more relaxed. Feeling this gentle, soft rhythm inside of you, soothing your whole system. Noticing first its rhythm, your whole body being rocked by the flow of air going in and out ever so gently. And starting to notice the air going through you, the sensations that it brings. Paying attention maybe to your nostrils and to the sensations there as the air goes through. And then noticing the sensations as the air goes through your nose. And then as it passes at the back of your throat and through your windpipes and into your lungs. Noticing also the soothing sensation as the air flows. Can you feel that? Can you feel the air going in and out and brushing through your whole system and soothing you like a soft, gentle caress inside, bringing peace? Don't worry if your mind gets carried away with other thoughts. When you notice, just gently bring your mind back to the meditation. It doesn't matter if you've missed some of my words. You know what to do. Now we're going to extend this activity. And if you were to think of a forest and trees, bushy trees, and if you were to look at the sky from under the trees, you could see that the trees are kind of joining together at the top. And there's just a slight line of sky between the tree branches and leaves. So now we're going to use our breath to watch those trees expand and split away from each other on an inhale, opening the sky up and then getting back together, close together, and shutting the sky, or rather shutting into the forest away from the sky on an exhale. And so on every inhale, now I'm inviting you to see the trees separating away from each other, expanding the space between them, and creating so much more space for the sky. And on an exhale, retracting, bringing the branches, each tree together again, and leaving just a line of sky in between them. On an inhale, expanding, bringing so much more space for the sky. And on an exhale, getting closer together again and shutting down away from the sky. And you can carry on like this for a few minutes. If you do not like that activity, you can just continue with your normal breathing focus. And otherwise, on every inhale, watching the trees separate, growing away from each other, letting the sky grow between them, expanding the space between them. And on an exhale, retracting the space and getting closer together again. On an inhale, expanding and growing away from each other to leave space for so much more blue sky. And on an exhale, reducing the space between them. And you can carry on like this for another couple of minutes. On an inhale, the trees are expanding away from each other, giving more space for the blue sky. On an exhale, they are getting closer together and reducing the space between themselves. And when you are ready, you can take a deep breath to finish. Bring your mind back to the space where you are and open your eyes again. Now, the thing about lives is that you can plan as much as you want, but when you get carried away, you forget things. And I had a photo prepared. I don't have an ideal photo because I had taken one and I can't find it. But I wanted to show you the line of trees that I meant. So you've got all the trees, and then you have that line right there. Don't know if you can see it, which is like the separation between the trees, which normally are lines, but they normally stop growing at that limit. That's the line that I was talking about, that you can watch the trees expand from. And that line becomes a big space of blue sky. So I apologize. I was meant to show you this before we started. Okay. Now, the next activity we're going to do is about grounding. Grounding is about connecting to the earth. It's about finding ourselves stable and strong on our legs. We are earth creatures and we need to constantly connect to the earth. But with our energetic system and with whatever it is that we do in our daily lives, we often disconnect because we are beings that are very much in our heads. And that means that we end up with a very big buildup of energy up here instead of at the bottom of us. And a lot of thinking in our minds that disconnects us from the now. So, grounding, which is connecting to the earth, really helps us to reconnect first with the earth, then with our true self, then with the now. All of these happen together. And so we're going to tap into the tree energy and vibration to help us connect today. We can do grounding in so many different ways. Going to the forest is one of the ways to ground yourself, going in nature anywhere. The most powerful one I find is when you walk barefoot on grass or you lie down with your feet flat on the ground. But for me, I find that if the sole of the foot is touching the ground bare, then there's incredible grounding happening. If I go to the forest, I normally go to the Hainaut forest. If I go there and I lie down in that way for even a half an hour or 20 minutes, when I get home, I'm completely exhausted because my whole system has really grounded itself and I have the deepest and the most peaceful sleep ever. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm going to invite you now to take a deep breath to begin the grounding activity and then to close your eyes, letting my words settle for a minute. And then when you're ready, I am going to invite you to create a space for yourself in your mind, a field, a field with some trees in it, not quite a forest, just a few trees. And to see yourself there in that field. You can see yourself barefoot if you would like. And remember that with every activity that I am guiding, and when I talk about seeing things or visualizing things, some people can visualize and see, and some others need to hear the words and just know it's there. So don't worry if you cannot actually see the image of what I'm describing. As long as you know it's there, that's enough. And so for now, if you would like to just start walking in that field, and really absorbing this environment, this quiet and calm and relaxing place, beautiful, so green, and with a bright sun glowing above you, warm enough to feel warm, but not too hot, just very comfortable. And walking, feeling more and more relaxed already as you are in that space. And then finding a tree that you like, a tree that you feel drawn to. And if you don't find that there is a particular tree that you want to go to, just pick any tree. And then go towards that tree, walk to it, and then stand in front of it when you get there. Starting to notice as you're standing in front of it, its beauty, its tallness, its beautiful colors, all different shades of green. Maybe it also has flowers or fruit. And I am going to ask you, if you haven't done it yet, to put your hands on its trunk and to start truly connecting with it. To think about your heart, where your heart chakra is, in the middle of your chest, and to think about the tree as you are holding your hand on its trunk. And to know that you are deeply connecting with this amazing energy. And then, if you would like to notice the tree's energy of a specific color, maybe green, maybe gold, any positive color that feels good to you, and then watching that energy flow from that tree through your hand and your arm, going down towards your feet, and then out of your feet like roots growing into the soil of the earth and connecting deeply to the earth. This deeply healing energy is now anchoring you to the earth, connecting you and grounding you. And then you can watch this energy from these roots growing into you and going upwards, flowing through your body towards your head. And then from the top of your head, watching this energy beam upwards towards the universe so that you have roots into the earth with that energy, that your whole being is filled with it and being healed by it. And then that energy comes out of you through the top of your head and going up towards the universe and connecting you upwards. In that way, you are connecting yourself to the earth and to the universe. And at the same time, you know that you are a being from this planet, from the earth, with your whole internal system there, energized also. So all aspects of you are energized and connected. And you can stay there for a moment, feeling strong, feeling anchored, feeling present. You are like that beautiful tree. You are so strong now. If you would like now, just take a moment. You don't have to, but if you would like, you can spend just one moment sending gratitude to the tree for lending you its energy. And you can bring your mind back to the space where you are, taking a deep breath to finish, and opening your eyes again. You can have a sip of water if you'd like. Stretch your legs out, move your body, find a better position if you are not all comfortable. Now, with the next activity, we are going to use a tree to bring ourselves abundance. We are going to take care of a seed, Plant it and let it grow into a tree, into our tree of abundance. And so we are going to use the vibration of the power of life through a plant, through a tree, from seed to full-blown tree, or rather full-grown tree, rather. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. At the end of the session, I will look at the comments. So if you would like to make yourself comfortable again, and then taking a deep breath to begin and shutting your eyes. I am going to ask you to see yourself in a space, either a field or some kind of ground where you have access to soil though, outside. And in your hand, you have a seed. It is a seed for a magical abundance tree, your abundance tree. And so I am going to ask you first to put that seed in between your two hands, to cup it in one and put your other hand on top, so that you can nurture and nourish that seed with your own energy and your own intent first. And so now, as you're holding that seed between your two hands, I am going to ask you to put an intent for that seed, an intent of abundance you would like to bring to yourself. It can be anything, and it can be as many things as you want. It can be a car, a house, a healthy relationship, money, crystals. It can be anything, food, anything that you want an abundance of. Love, kindness. You can put that intent into your seed. There's no restrictions and there's no limit. And spending one more moment here, putting the intent into the seed. Now, whenever you make a request for abundance, what is important is to let it go. So once you have made your request, like we just did, putting your intent on the seed, I am going to ask you now to trust, to stop thinking about it, to completely let go and trust the universe, and know that as your tree grows, abundance is going to come. And then as you hold your seed in one hand, I am going to ask you to put your other hand on your chest, where your heart is, and to think of the love energy, to think of love and how you love that seed to grow into this amazing abundance tree. And then to put your hand back on top of the other hand. And now in your mind, in that space where you are, I'm going to ask you to find a spot on the floor, on the soil, the perfect spot to plant your seed. And then when you are ready, I am going to ask you to dig a hole with a finger in that soil that is incredibly soft and fertile. And to put the seed in the hole and then to cover it gently and kindly with some soil. And then to step back a little bit. And now watching as the sun glows on it and as it rains on it. Don't worry, you cannot get wet with that rain. As you are observing it all from a bit of a distance. And watching that seed pierce through the ground with a little stem. And slowly by slowly, watching it grow bigger and bigger. Ever so slowly and ever so gently, stretching through the air, going upwards as far as possible, as if wanting to touch the sky. That seed of yours is growing into a magnificent tree. And the bigger it grows, the more abundance you know you are going to receive. All sorts of colors may be running through that tree, that magical abundance tree. Healing colors. Colors that make you feel good. Until it grows to the biggest of its size. And now, as you're standing in front of it, you can see the power that you have. The power to bring the most beautiful amount of abundance to your own life. That tree is your abundance. It is huge, it is massive, it is towering over you. It is a representation of your power to be fully abundant in your life. And so as you are watching and looking at that tree and observing it, you know that good things, amazing things are coming your way. Now, when you are ready, I am going to ask you to bring your mind back to the space where you are, but you can keep your eyes shut. And taking a deep breath to finish. Some of you might be aware that there has been fires in the Amazonian rainforest again this year, very recently. I believe that the fires have now been put out because it rained. but there has been extensive damage as usual. And so I would like you to accompany me into a meditation to help the healing process for that forest. Some of you have already done that with me when you were at the Ilford Library. So it's going to be very similar to that. But we are now going to start from after the fire. And if you are watching this video after the fact, it is still relevant because the meditation we are about to do is still going to help to protect and to nourish the Amazonian rainforest. So I am going to ask you today to use your love energy to heal that forest with me. And so if you would like to close your eyes if they are open, and then to take a deep breath to begin. And then rubbing your hands energetically to create friction and heat. And then applying them to your heart chakra in the middle of your chest. You can remain in that position for as long as it's comfortable. At any time, you can rub your hands again to create more friction, to connect again with that energy. And at any time, if you don't feel comfortable anymore, you can always relax your hands. And so now I am going to invite you to see yourself walking through the Amazonian rainforest in a place where the fires were, but knowing that it is all still damp, the rain has come and gone. There is no fire anymore, and you are completely safe there. And we are going to bring hope to that space, which in a way makes me feel like the year 2020 has been. It is like we had the fires at the beginning of the year, and then it rains, and things settled in about August time. And now we are September, October time, and things are starting to grow again for a new journey to begin. And so I would like you to start to see from the ground sprouts of plants coming up everywhere. We are in a happy phase. We are creating a new world. We are creating a new forest. Things can grow again and be even more bountiful than they were before. This is a renewal of energy. Life is coming back and is deeply healing a place that got hurt. And so you can see these plants starting to grow just like your abundance seed earlier. Everywhere sprouts getting taller and taller, bigger and bigger. And you can decide to either walk through the space, to stand and witness the beauty happening, or even to sit somewhere and watching plants and trees growing taller and taller every second, bigger and bigger. Connecting to your heart and to your heart energy also. They are being nourished by this beautiful love energy. You can see beautiful leaves popping out from those new plants and those new trees. A jungle is being created around you. And little by little, you can see less and less of the sun because those plants and those trees have gotten so big now that they are actually blocking some of the light from it. But that's okay because the sun is still there above us. Flowers are starting now to grow out of the bushes and the plants. You may even notice animals coming back. The soil under your feet is no longer gray, but a beautiful brown. This jungle, nourished by love, is becoming so abundant and beautiful. And you can now start to enjoy the sounds of the jungle, the sounds of the birds, the animals everywhere. Completely safe, you are completely safe as you are progressing through this jungle, or as you are sitting there if you are still seated. And enjoying the freshness of all this whole new world created out of our love, created from the earth. You can wake up if you are still standing, or you can walk across this jungle if you are already walking. You can touch the trees, touch the leaves of the bushes and the plants, noticing their texture, their colors, breathing in the fresh, beautiful air, pure, so pure. Enjoying the beauty in front of your eyes. Watching all the colors dancing from one flower to the other and into your eyes. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands back down onto your lap or the side of you. Stepping away from the Amazonian rainforests and bringing your mind back to your space. Taking a deep breath to finish. Taking a moment to connect with your space again. And then starting to move parts of your body to wake yourself up again. And then when you are ready, if you've not done so yet, you can open your eyes. So there are some comments. One from Magali that says, and she put that down after the breathing exercise with the trees expanding and retracting. That she said that it helps to breathe deeper, and that's the whole point. The trees, they were like our ribs, and when we are breathing, we expand. The rib cage expands to leave space for the lungs, and then it retracts again to help expel the air. And then she also puts just now a comment saying that her hand was burning her skin. So yeah, when we're working with energies like this, the love energy being a very powerful one at that, we may experience sensations like this. Don't be scared; it's completely normal. And yeah, whenever we do meditations like this, I often ask you how you feel about your hands. Is there any sensation there? And that is because a lot of energy can pass through in that way. And so we can feel so many different sensations at the time. It can be in this case that it was hot, but sometimes it could be feeling cold or feeling sensations like tingling. And so that's completely normal. A message from AJ. Thank you so much. Most needed, and grounding was really perfect for me today. Was relaxed and at ease. That's super. I'm so glad. This is something you can do anytime, this grounding activity. You can connect with the tree anytime, and you actually can do it for real as well. Okay, you will look a bit weird, but you know what? Doesn't matter because you're not the only one. I often go and hug trees in the forest when I go. So that's completely normal. Okay. So I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. If you have any problems or any questions, you can email me at any time, of course. And see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Bye.